Georgia Governor Brian Kemp plans to lift the state's shelter-in-place order for the vast majority of the state's residents at midnight tonight.
The state stay-at-home will expire for most residents on May 1, while extending the state's public health emergency order and requiring the elderly and medically fragile to shelter in place through June 12, the Atlanta Journal-Constitution reported.
Tonight at 11:59 p.m., the statewide shelter-in-place order for most Georgians will expire, Kemp said in a video announcing the decision. However, moving forward, I'm urging Georgians to continue to stay home whenever possible. As of Thursday, Georgia reported over 26,000 confirmed cases of COVID-19, including 779 new cases on Wednesday, over 5,000 hospitalizations, and 1,120 deaths from the disease.
While most governors are taking a gradual approach to steadily reopen their states, Kemp is going much further. He allowed a slew of business establishments including hair and nail salons, bowling alleys, gyms, and massage therapy centers to reopen on April 24, followed by restaurants and movie theaters this past Monday.
Kemp said businesses must follow minimum basic operations of safety, including screening workers for fever and respiratory illness, enhancing workplace sanitation, wearing gloves and masks if appropriate, separating workspaces by at least 6 feet, and teleworking where at all possible, and implementing staggered shifts. But
given the sheer number of business establishments under the order, it's unclear how the state plans to enforce those guidelines across the board, especially in places like hair and nail salons that necessarily involve people being within 6 feet and touching each other.
The governor and his top public health officials are also encouraging residents to wear masks in retail stores or other places where they'll be in close proximity to others. Despite sharp criticism from elected officials on both sides of the aisle that Georgia is moving to reopen too fast, Kemp argued in his interview with the Journal-Constitution that loosening restrictions for the non-elderly population makes sense because almost half of the coronavirus deaths in the state are linked to nursing homes and other long-term care facilities. Kemp told the Journal-Constitutional that he believes the state's approach so far has worked, adding, "It's given us time to build our hospital infrastructure capacity, get ventilators and ramp up testing. That's what really drove our decision." But public health experts, other Georgia elected officials, and even President Donald Trump have warned that Georgia may be moving too fast to reopen, and could even risk spreading the virus further and undoing the progress the previous restrictions achieved. Reopening the state and relaxing social distancing measures now is irresponsible and could even be deadly, Atlanta Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms wrote in a Thursday op-ed in The Atlantic. Our hospitals may not be stretched to capacity, but that does not mean we should work to fill the vacant beds. I strongly believe that our health care system is not overwhelmed because we have been socially distancing. Trump has, at times, strongly encouraged states to work to lift their stay-at-home orders and allow businesses to reopen to boost the economy. But even he openly criticized Kemp for his decision to allow some businesses to reopen before Georgia had seen consistently declining cases and hospitalization, per the reopening guidelines set by his administration. Vice President Mike Pence never gave Governor Brian Kemp an okay on those few businesses outside of the guidelines. Fake news. Spas, beauty salons, tattoo parlors, and barber shops should take a little slower path, but I told the governor to do what is right for the great people of Georgia and USA. Trump tweeted on April 24. Senator Lindsey Graham, a staunch ally of Trump who represents the neighboring state of South Carolina, also wrote in an April 22 tweet that he worried, "Our friends and neighbors in Georgia are going too fast too soon." Dr. Margaret Hamburg, who served as the Commissioner of the Food and Drug Administration under the Obama administration from 2009 to 2015, said in an April 21 appearance on NBC's Today show that reopening too quickly could lead to explosive spread of the disease. Some of these places are not even meeting the minimum threshold criteria that were put out in the Trump White House Coronavirus Task Force guidance, she said. I'm worried that we don't know enough about how the virus has penetrated these communities and their states. We don't know about the possibility for explosive spread of the virus as people go back into these social gathering settings, the workplace, schools, whatever.